What is a reason you are glad to be single? I can do whatever I want and not feel guilty about spending time with no one. This was my exact thought. Do what I want. Whenever I want. As a married man with kids, this is probably what I miss the most. Especially kids, man. It's one thing to have a partner around to have to get permission from to do things. But kids is a whole different story. No matter what I want to do tonight, my kid is going to wake up at 7 a.m. Needs to be changed, fed, etc. That's just till they are 12-ish. Teach them breakfast early. A 10-year-old can do bagels, cereal, frozen waffles. By 12 they get up, fed themselves, find something to do. It's all good. Just have one adult capable of getting up in an emergency. Dad's night out. No big deal. So you creep in after last call. Sleep in, let the home run itself for a few hours. They like their quiet time too. My friend has 2 girls. He said the best day of his life was when he woke up on a Saturday, came downstairs and saw his one daughter had got breakfast for herself and her younger sister. He immediately went back to bed. Is this a real story or an urban myth? I have an 18-month and a 2-week-old. I don't believe sleep exists anymore. Real story, my friend. But I'm afraid you've got a long way to go before it happens. Haha. I can sleep in the middle of the bed with the fan on if I want. I can also leave something on the table and come back 2 weeks later and it is still there. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, without checking in with anyone. Also, no woman should have to be subjected to my toxic family. Yep. After my only surviving parent passed, I moved 2,000 miles away from toxic family and community. I'm totally free to be me and live the life I want. A lot of people I know who've ruined their lives did so over a lover. Whether trying to get one, keep them, or fighting someone else over them. Relationships can be very dangerous if you're too emotionally immature. Love really messes with your brain chemistry in a powerful way. It's such a potent drug. Especially when you add that to unhealthy dynamics. Makes the highs higher and the lows lower. No longer being forced to hang out with their friends. Especially when the friends are one-dimensional pretentious turnips. She's a sad tomato. Yo, that's a quality Ram reference. I'm not a huge fan of the single life, but in the past when I've been in a relationship, I always felt like I needed to check my phone 24/7. I like being able to just chill and play video games, watch a movie, hang with friends without checking my phone consistently. I agree. I texted with my ex way too much. I wish we had just FaceTime to talk instead. Even better. Hung out in person much more. Learned to love myself without needing anyone else's words of affirmation after being single for the first time in a few years. I've been trying to work on this after being dumped 6 months ago, but haven't had much luck yet. Any tips? Sounds cheesy, but I've found doing affirmations to myself daily has been life-changing. I ended up really high on an edible one night and found myself sitting in front my mirror basically naked, just looking at myself and appreciating everything about myself. I even ended up singing a little song to myself about different parts of my body that I suddenly felt so much love for. I spent nearly 2 hours just appreciating and thanking my body for everything. Especially the parts I would typically be critical of. Since then, spending at least 10 minutes, even if not consecutive, just appreciating myself for physical, emotional, and mental traits I have has been incredibly effective. ETA. Thanks for the awards. ETA 2. Thank for you the silver kind stranger. Not cheesy. Those affirmations are the possession of great power and freedom. We are what we eat, sleep, think, say, and do. The thinking is what screws most people over. Good on you. Top job. My apartment is clean and neat, and most importantly, 95% empty. Undefined. Being a minimalist. I have this fear of liking someone and it turns out that they are a hoarder/messy. I married someone whose love language is I need all the things. It's rough. We joke that he's a hoarder, but it's worth it. I'm the kind of person who threw away my high school diploma when I was in my 30s because what would I need this for at this point? Thankfully. If you do fall to the same fate I did, you can at least help them curb their shopping/cleaning issues. I purposely avoid buying things because I know I'd keep it forever. I avoid buying things because I don't want to have them taking up space or need to clean around them. I'm learning to navigate the world through the lens of my own needs and desires without worrying how I'm being perceived by a partner. I do not believe I will be a good person to be in a relationship until I can do that, so I'm happy to struggle with it. Also, I really love dancing poorly to LCD sound system while my dog watches with fear and judgment in his eyes. Not that I couldn't do that before. It's just so free to do it in my own apartment alone. Had to move back in with my parents during COVID. Blasting music and bad solo bedroom dancing has definitely reduced compared to when I was on my own. 1 for LCD sound system. My main poisons were talking heads and PC music. Heck yeah. Solo dance parties rule. Talking heads is definitely a great choice, I'll add them next time. Because I'd rather be single than be with someone who doesn't appreciate my love and affection. As someone who got out of a 3-year-long relationship about 4 months ago, I would say one of the biggest thing I'm glad about being single is being able to see myself clearly again. You don't realize how much being in a relationship can blind you to how you've changed. Or how love can numb you to certain things. When I got out of that relationship and once the initial crying and being depressed phase ended, I slowly realized how much happier I was and how much I've changed. Some of it good and some bad. But it was like being able to see myself through a clear lens and not through a distorted one. I was completely in love with a girl. Others around me told me to get out of the relationship because it wasn't healthy. On some level I understood what they were saying. But I was so blinded by my feelings that I let things go on a lot longer than I should have. You look back months after you walk away from that and realize you were kind of a dumbass. But feelings can do crazy things to you. I don't want to take into account someone else's wants and needs when making life decisions. I just graduated from college during COVID and I'm so lost, so I don't want to have a partner until I'm less lost. Graduated and fell in love this year. I can confirm that this is a genuine issue. This is also my first adult relationship. It's so much easier navigating through stages of our lives rife with uncertainty alone. My partner is still in college and I don't want to move far away from her. So one of my biggest challenges has been job applications. I am not open to every opportunity as I would have if I wasn't in love. I have absolutely no regrets, but having a partner who becomes a priority in your life alters your initial plans. I really hope it works out and you don't regret/resent the relationship holding you back from potential endeavors. I'm in my 40s and I know so many people who've done this very common thing. Beeping freedom. I love the single life. Call me selfish. But this is it in a nutshell for me. The freedom to wake up and go to sleep when I want to decorate and organize my home that I bought and paid off on my own as I like. To make my plans and schedule as I see fit. To watch/read/play whatever I want. To buy and wear whatever I want. To cook and eat whatever I want and not have to share. and make long-term financial and career goals without having to worry about it conflicting with someone else's. The only things stressing me are my own stressors. I don't have to help support someone else through theirs. Interestingly enough, I always hoped I could be the person someone would come to after a bad day. I also hated feeling helplessly unable to cheer my ex up when they had a bad day and I couldn't go see them. Theirs was nothing I could say or do as simple as listening or just being present that seemed to relieve my ex's bad days. She cheated on me, but I did love her. I hope she is doing well and happy. Mother, be honest, the cheating part kind of beeped me up. 5 years later, I have no desire or interest to date someone seriously. The pain and embarrassment wasn't worth it, and I'm totally happy and successful by myself. I feel like dating someone only leaves potential to take that from me. Not much they could add to my current situation. Maybe in a few years when my friends start having kids. Who knows? Not having to deal with partners leaving you completely unfulfilled and always putting their bull's peep above you. Not having to argue to exist in the ways you do because their insecurities and lack of self-worth smother your joy. Oof. I've dated a few of those. Have you also tried being friends afterward because you're mature and it beeps with you all over again because you thought they had changed, but you're having to relieve the disappointment and feeling a lack of value in their life? OMG, yes. This speaks to my soul. Let's be friends. Why, you're just as disappointing a friend as you were a boyfriend. I read this article a while ago that really clarified my feelings on this. Studies show that people who are married are on average slightly happier than people who are not married, which has been known for a long time. So people have sort of internalized this idea that marriage equals happiness. But when you break down the numbers in that, what it actually looks like is that people in happy marriages are much happier than everyone else, and people in unhappy marriages are much less happy than everyone else. So actually the slightly happier figure is pretty meaningless and just shows that slightly more marriages are happier than unhappy, and that's what that looks like when averaged. So for those who want it, being in a good relationship is the best situation. But being single is the second best. And far better than being in a bad relationship. Also, being single is a better position to be in if you're looking for a good relationship. Because being in a bad one means you have to go through the extra steps of breakup and recovery. Plus, when you're single, you're able to work on all those things about yourself that make you ready for a good relationship. So to me, it's like not the very best, but it is the second best, and that's pretty good. It's like you don't have a Jaguar but you have a Honda. And it's reliable and gets you where you need to go. And at least you're not driving car from the 70s with a leak in the fuel line and a plastic Jaguar sculpture taped on the hood. Undefined. I learned who I am after I decided to stop dating. It's been 4 years being single. And I really love who I've become. I was able to establish myself, my goals, and who I want to be. I never want to turn the key in the door and have to worry about what is going to on the other side again. I don't want to have to manage another's emotions or walk on eggshells. I love the peace that my space is mine alone. I also hate the obligations that tend to come with relationships. I don't want to attend other people's events, or buy presents for in-laws, etc. Basically, I'm selfish. Oh man. That fear of coming home just for the sake of not knowing your so's mood and being extra cautious not to trigger anything in any way. Then struggling to find out if it's a good day and I am expected to say greet with a kiss, or a bad day and not interrupt them at all. Such a speepty feeling. I am just learning to love coming home again. God, I remember rushing home every day because if I was even 5 minutes later getting in the door, I would have to explain myself. Then I would walk in perfectly on time and he'd still be in a speep house mood. Now I can spend the whole day driving around doing absolutely nothing and I don't have to explain it to anybody, and going home is actually an enjoyable thought. Being able to save. Now that I am single, no one can drink, get DUIs, use all my money to pay their fines, cheat on me, leave me, falsely accuse me of using my children in order to not have to pay child support, and sue me for divorce. So there's that. Yep. That would do it all right. I've had some really abusive relationships. Singleness safety. Same. We're safe now. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. If I want to stay up late, I can. If I want to go to sleep early, I can. If I want to sleep in, I can. If I want to wake up late, I can. If I want to buy that Xbox, PS, Nintendo, or upgrade my PC, I can. If I want to play video games, I can. If I want to watch a movie, I can. If I feel like watching TV, I can. If I feel like listening to music, I can. If I feel like reorganizing or redecorating my apartment, I can. If I want to go out to eat, I can. If I feel like cooking something at home, I can. I can choose how I use my time. I can choose how I spend my money. I can choose how I save my money. Do I feel lonely? I'll admit it. Sometimes I do. But I have good friends. If I feel like hanging out with my friends, if someone wants to hang out with me, I can. If I don't feel like going out, I can stay home. I'm like you. All of those points you made are heavenly.